What's going on, guys? It is Bart here, also known as Mr. Creator, also known as Euphoria, Euphoria Tools, whatever you want to say. And in today's chapter, chapter 2, Visual Studio Development, iOS Development Tools, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be getting into customization, more customization for your own tool, as well as grabbing device information into a separate variable. What I mean by that is grabbing like a serial number and having a specific variable just show it. Like a label will have the serial number, another label will have your IMEI, and so on and so forth. Stuff like that. And then as well as grabbing the device image, so you can display, uh, an image for the user what device is connected. So little little nice quirks and stuff like that. Alright, so we left off in chapter 1, detecting iOS device. So when you click this, it should detect your iOS device information when you connect your iOS device. Any iOS device you connect to your computer and you click detect, it should detect it. If it's not showing it, unlock your device and click trust this computer, trust the pair, whatever it says. Tap to trust this computer. And then after that, it should detect it and read the device information. So this is where we left off. Now, what I mean by grabbing device variables is like grab this, specifically only this, and have a label to display that. What else we got here? For example, like region information, iOS version, and so on and so forth. Alright, so let's get straight into it, as well as some pixel and customization for your own tool. So I'll show you what that is. It's a super basic Photoshop editor, but it's super handy, especially if you need to use something free and online. Alright, let's close this. And the next thing we're going to do is go to Toolbox and let's add a label. So let's drag and drop this here. And this one I'm just going to say activation state. This one's going to help a lot of people because I know a lot of people want to make their own bypass tools. So this also helps like if you want to have a tool that's just going to, I don't know, let's say it's a diagnostic tool that you're making that's going to be, reading information about iOS or what version it is, or I don't know, anything that you want to build. So activation state is one. Let's run this again and see what else I want to get. I'm gonna get a few good ones here. Um, sure, we'll do the IMEI. What else would I want to do? Product version, product type. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay, sounds good. Let's so select one of these. You can select it, do Control C, or you can do select this one, click on it, then Shift, hold Shift, and then left click on this one. Now you have both of them selected. Now do Control C, click on the window, Control V, and there you go. Now you just copied the variable so it's quicker. I'll just, I don't know, put it like that far. And then a Control V again. I don't know, about there. Control V again. About there. Alright, so this one, we're going to rename this to IMEI. And then this is just going to be underscore. Just because this is not going to display anything. I don't want this to display anything. But if I don't put anything here and I just delete this, and watch what happens if I click over here now. It's gone. So how are you going to select your label? So if you mess up or anything, you can do Control Z to undo. Anything you want to undo in here, you can just do Control Z. If you want to reverse what you just did, do Control Shift Z. And if you want to undo, Control Z. To redo, Control Shift Z. So that's a good shortcut to know. So yeah, we're gonna want to have it as an underscore because we don't want to have it disappearing or anything. And then here we're gonna do the same thing. Make this an underscore. This one, what else did we want? We want to get product type. It was called product type, not product model. It was product type. And when it shows product type, it's not what you think. It's not going to say iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's going to say like iPhone 14, comma 1 or something like that. So product type, select this, underscore. And then here we're going to do Control C, iOS version. That's basically the main key points you might need. I mean, what else would you really need, right? You can always add more if you wanted. So I'm going to just teach you the basics. Just, you know, once you know how to grab one variable, you'll know how to repeat the same process for the rest of it, and you'll be like, oh, this makes so much more sense to me. This is a lot less complicated than I thought it was. It's just like, you know, overcoming your fear of how to think of how to do the programming or how to know what syntax to use and stuff like that. Okie dokie. So after we do detect, let's see. So let's see. Read file. So after it does this, it reads it when it. Okay, so it checks if the file exists. Then it reads. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so again, let's go over this. Detect will run this file, the iDevice info. iDevice info executes, and it's executing. So when this executes, it wants to, where is it? Log file path, log file path. So it executes here, and then the process standard output from this process that runs, which is iDevice info. When this process runs, it reads the output, and then it basically reads the output using this this code right here. And when it reads the output, it saves it to this file, and then when it goes from there, it waits for it to exit. And then, okay, so basically, yeah, it runs iDevice info, saves the file to log.txt. So after this executes, it saves it to here, basically. That's what that's doing. And this will actually read this file after this finishes. You know, it waits for this to finish writing the file after the output's done. Once it's done, then yeah, makes sense. Alright. And then after it reads it, saves the file, then it reads it. Alright. I don't know why that took so long for me to go over. Okay. Yep, and then it will check if the file exists. If the file does exist. Okay, let me explain real quick. So when this executes, it's passing this variable into here. And then this is being passed into here. This is just the syntax. This is how it works. I mean, how else would I explain this? This is just how the format works. So if you changed it and did this, it's not going to work because it doesn't know how to pass the variable. So we want to pass it as a string. So it checks it as a string. If this directory exists, okay, it exists. We're safe to read the file because there's a file there. So let's display the contents there. Cool, so this code so far is pretty smooth. Just wanted to go over that real quick. So after this runs, reads the file. Now, after this reads the file, I'm gonna go in the read log file and display. After it reads it, I want it to grab any line that contains what I need. So let's go, let me show you what I mean. Apple controller. Alright, so go in your project folder. And this is gonna be log.txt, right? Alright, see, log.txt. There it is, run this. So basically what I want to do is tell the program to read, so this is like what the program outputs, right? When we run this, I just want to show you. I'm trying to explain as best I can for beginners because I don't want to miss anything. That's why I'm kind of like stumbling around here. So we detect it and it reads all the information. But now basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is I want to grab this and put this into here. Then grab this, put this into here. And in order to do that, the way I want to do it is I want to read this entire text box, and then I want the program to go line by line. Read this line, check if it contains activation state, specifically this string. If it does contain this string, then the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to tell the program to grab this string, whatever contains this, please grab the rest of it, and then trim off this part and only keep this part and paste it into here. It's a little complex. I understand it might take a second for you to wrap your head around it, but that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going to make the program go through all of this. It's going to go through each line of code, right? And then when it's going through each line, it's just going to compare if. It's going to use a loop statement, and then inside that loop, it's going to be an if statement, and then it's going to specify for each variable where it goes. Enough talk, more show. So let me show you how this works. Let's close this, and then I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do this. So you're gonna just copy like a couple of lines of code. You don't need all of it because you're just trying to show a pattern. That's all you're gonna try to do. So copy just a couple of lines of code that look similar. Open up a new tab, type in chat GPT. Give me a sec. Alright, that's fine. So now we're gonna paste this and say I'm writing a program in Visual Basic, and I want to grab from text box. Just say text box one.txt. It doesn't matter. We're gonna change it, whatever it is, whatever number it is. And the reason I'm showing you with ChatGPT, guys, is because it's 2024, and you know, times are changing. People don't need Google anymore because that's mainly where everyone goes, and a lot of people will be like, oh, you're a script kiddie, or you're, listen, everyone starts somewhere, okay? And you don't just fucking learn just by reading a book and bam, you're a fucking professional. It's honestly best to learn from looking at previous projects. So ChatGPT is this new tool in today's day and age that you guys honestly should use because it can help you a lot. Sometimes it's not completely accurate, but it is very, very, very good. And it can help you make a lot of really creative projects. So anyways, let's keep going. I'm writing a program in Visual Basic. I want to grab it from textbox one.txt, and then copy the line you want using a loop and an if statement. Alright, so again, like in this course, I'm just teaching you from my perspective how I would do things, and you know, there's not one right way to do everything. There's so many different ways to do things in programming, so don't think, oh, Mr. Creator showed it to me this way, this is how I should do it. No, I might show you honestly the wrong fucking way to do it, and you probably shouldn't do it that way, but I'm still going to show you how I do things. So this is, you know, again, a course teaching from my perspective on how I would be coding and trying to teach you guys as best I can, because I've had teachers over the years and they don't really teach, you know, sorry, but they didn't really teach me shit. So let's move on here. So anyways, so we're gonna paste this. ChatGPT gave us that, put it in here. So after that runs, because everything is a process. Everything goes from start to finish. It starts from the top, moves down. That's how coding works. I'm sure you already got that. So let's go back here and figure out what text box this is. This is iDevice info text. So take this, boom. Okay. So we pasted it. Now let's just run it and see what happens. So basically it should go through each line of code in this text box after we read it, after it's done reading basically. And then if any line of code has activation state activated, then it will show a text box or a message box. Look at that. Look at that, guys. How amazing is that? Look how easy this is. It will just be so much easier to just ask your question into ChatGPT, because it's just going to be like, oh, you're trying to do this? There we go. It just needs to understand the general format or general idea of what you're trying to achieve. tell it what programming language you're doing it in, and just have enough base information for it to go off of in order to create what you want or whatever function you want. Like this private sub, this is a function. Um, this right here is a function, but this only executes on the button click. So sender, object, event, arguments. So you can use E to, to make it do events. So like, let me show you real quick. E dot any event equals, and then go from there. I'm not gonna explain that. That's just a waste of time for now. That's not what we're getting into. So let's just skip that. Now, when it's going through each line of code, then so this is the for loop. This is how a for loop starts. It's for each line. So we're defining a new variable called line, and then it's going to be defined as a string in device info text. So for each variable line in device info text, then it's going through that. So it's basically here, this is literally your loop. This is literally all it is. It goes for each line. That's what it does. And then here is a basic if statement. If this line contains this, then do this. Otherwise, exit the loop. You can actually delete this, so you can actually make it continue going through each line. So the only difference with that means this loop will continue going as long as, I don't know, as long as fucking forever, basically. Unless you have this line of code. Oh my gosh. This will tell it to stop the loop and just exit and continue on. So this says exit the for loop. Exit. Remember, the apostrophe is just a comment, so you don't really need that. Oops, I deleted the line. So anyways, what I'm going to show you next is how to grab another variable. Basically, just go through this and you'll see, and you'll quickly catch on what's going on when I'm slowly changing the code. You'll start to realize the patterns, like, oh, this is how you use this line of code to do this. This is how you use this line of code to do this. You don't need to be super technical and be like, oh, there are so many different functions you can do with file dots. Yeah, of course you can, like file dot, and then there's so many different things you can learn, that you can use all this stuff, but you don't need to learn all this from the get-go. The way I would be learning is just asking ChatGPT, hey, I'm programming in Visual Basic and I'm trying to do this. Hey, I have a button and I'm trying to do this. Hey, I have a progress bar. How do I make it increase and stuff like that? That's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach you how to be able to use your wings and flap and fly on your own without the need of relying on someone and asking the internet all the time, like, how to do this, how to do this. Yeah, you will, because everyone's always going to have questions, but if you can use ChatGPT, it's going to help you 30% much faster compared to just Googling on the internet and going to GitHub and looking at a piece of code and then being like, well, does this work or does this not? I don't know. No, with ChatGPT, it's kind of like asking someone, or even on the app on ChatGPT, you can literally talk to it and just put on the voice feature and turn that on and just be like, hey, I'm trying to make a program in Visual Basic. How do I make a progress bar stop at 100% and reset? Like, you could talk to it like a tutor. So I'm just trying to give you all the resources. Alright, so let's copy this, paste this, and the next thing we're gonna do is look for another thing we want to get. So what do I want to get? What do I want to get? Let's see. IMEI, remember? So let's copy this line, paste it here, but wait, there's a problem. How are we gonna actually grab this line of code now? And see, let's delete this and say IMEI found. So if line contains IMEI this, then do something. Okay, so let's just run this. Let me just show you, for example. I'm going to be doing more of the code now instead of explaining. So let's click detect, activation say activated. Why didn't it find it? Here it is. Oh, okay. So what's the problem here? Why didn't this message box show up? We did have the IMEI here. It should have popped up. Why didn't it? Because we have this. This will tell it to stop the for loop. You see this from here to here? There's a line. And this line is just telling you that this is the bracket of whatever code is inside from here to here. If anything is inside, if anything is indented, it's called, like, it's considered inside of the code. It's considered inside of the bracket. From here to here, from for to next, from if to end if. You can click on if and it'll highlight where it's connected. It's connected from here to here to here. For, it's connected from here to here to here. And also you can see exit 4 is also highlighting, and that's telling you, well, it's connected from here to here, but remember there's also exit 4, and where is this inside of? It's inside of the if statement. So it's just basically going to tell it to get the hell out of that for loop and just stop the loop. So let's delete this completely, and let's just make it go through each line. Like, we don't need the exit 4, so it should technically show 2 message boxes now. And there you go, magic. But hey, we have a problem. What happens if I connect another iPhone and it has another, like, IMEI, and it's a completely different IMEI? Well, we can do this. Delete this, and now I can connect another iPhone and it should continue showing the message, because if I just leave the IMEI in there, it's going to be only showing IMEI found for that specific IMEI, whatever phone was connected. Makes sense? Activated, IMEI found. Boom. Now this can just tell you basically if an IMEI was found. If nothing was found, and let's say I disconnect the device. Hold on. Disconnect it, detect, nothing. Not a single message box comes up. Beautiful. Let's connect it again. Click detect, activated, IMEI found. Alright, now let's just grab the information that we need, because that's what we're here for. So I'm gonna highlight this for loop, and then I'm gonna go back to chat. I'm gonna say I want to grab the IMEI number, but it changes for each device. Make the code work accordingly. What that means is just make it work based on how I want it to work. Put a random number in there just to give it an example, and let's see what it's gonna come up with. Alright, let's copy it. This is the new if statement for the IMEI, so let's try it. Rerun it and let's see what happens. Boom. So this is 8078. I'm gonna disconnect this one. I'm gonna connect another phone here. Let me connect this iPad actually. And there you go. This iPad does not have an IMEI because this is a Wi-Fi only iPad. So that's pretty cool. It won't show a message. It won't show a blank message. It will only show that message if it actually contains an IMEI. If it doesn't contain IMEI in here at all, International Mobile Equipment Identity, then it's just obviously not going to display it. Let me disconnect this. Let me see if I have another iPhone here. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, let's see. Got it. Alright, let's click detect. trust it. There we go. And there you go, a different IMEI. So now you have the information being passed, and now you know how this all works. How does it work? You just use an executable called iDeviceInfo. It reads the device info, it writes it to a file. When that file successfully is written, then the program will read that file, then it will display that information in the text box. After that, you have a for loop that goes through each line in that text box and then checks using an if statement if a variable exists. If that variable exists, it will say, oh, this variable exists, whatever you want to say, whatever you want it to output. So that's the message boxes that we have here. Message box.show, activation state, and IMEI. So we're almost there. We are almost there, guys. So let me see. We want to do this. Activation state activated. Let's change this line and hit enter, and I'm gonna put else, enter. I'm gonna say unactivated. So if it contains, actually we're gonna change this, if, else, if, elif? No, it's else if. Paste. Okay, what the hell just happened? Okay. So we're gonna have this line say if it's activated, say it's activated. Else, if the line says it's unactivated, because when a device is unactivated, it actually shows up like this. How do I know that? If I go here, type in CMD iDeviceInfo, you see this one will say iDevice activated, but when a device is deactivated, and the way you can do that is simply by getting iDevice activation, drag it and drop it, hit enter, type in deactivate. Watch the iPhone deactivate. Done. Now go up, iDeviceInfo, scroll up, and you will see that it was just deactivated. Why would it reactivate? Alright, deactivated. Oh, okay. Let me disconnect from the Wi-Fi on the phone. It's because it's connecting to the Wi-Fi. Alright, let me deactivate. Successfully deactivated device, so now it should be on the activation screen. Alright, let's hit iDeviceInfo, and now it says unactivated. See, there you go. As I said before, I was right. So it's gonna say unactivated, activation state unactivated. And there's one more. There's a secret state you don't know about. Let's put it right here. And this one is called factory activated. So this is the third secret mode that a device can be in. It could either be, you know, either activated, unactivated, and factory activated. This is typically with a tethered bypass if you're using iPass, an old tool that was created by me. But yeah. So enough of that. So let's go here, and instead of showing the message boxes now, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna comment them out, go back to my program here, and I want to just put the information just to show up right here. Click on that, change this label 3, I'm gonna say act state text. That's what I'm gonna call it. Alright, so let's call it act state text dot text equals, and I'm gonna say whatever was here, activated. Do the same thing for the next one. So if the line contains unactivated, guess what that says? Unactivated. Do it for the next one. If it says factory activated, then it's factory activated. So now if I run this, guess what? There you go. Now you're passing variables. Now you know how to pass variables. You're getting more excited because you can control a program more. You can make it your own. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, so there you go. Let's move on to the next step. We're gonna hide this and we're gonna change this to IMEI text. Go here, same shit. IMEI text equals, and then it's grabbing it from here, IMEI. So I guess it's called IMEI. So this is an index. It's grabbing some information between after two spaces. Oh yeah. So an index starts at 0 and then it goes 0, 1, 2. So any information 1, 2, one space after, then it grabs that as the IMEI number because, you know, there's a space right here. So it's starting here 0, 1, 2, and then it grabs the information. So that's why it says this. So that's what this is. And then this is basically saying get the substring at this index. So if the line contains this, start from here, count 1, 2, and then grab that as the string, and then this is our variable as the string, if that makes any sense. And then after we have our IMEI as the string, this is the variable, we're gonna put it into this label. So this label, please display whatever this variable is. So that's how this all works. It's just a bunch of variables working together and comparing between each other. There you go. Now, when I disconnected it, it continues to show this. So what I would do is go here and say we have to add an else statement. Else IMEI text, make it blank. Else, and then at the very end we always can add an else statement. So if statements can go if, else if, else if, else, and if. That's how they can go. So that's how I would structure them. So else is like, if all else fails, do this. It always starts with if, 1, 2, whatever the fuck you have, else, if all else fails. That's how I think of it. Alright, so if all else fails, just make that shit blank because there's nothing being detected. So let's see what happens. If there's nothing detected, it shouldn't even display anything. Even if it was detected the first time, but detect, nothing. It's just blank, just like I suspected. Connected, detect. Oh no. Oh no, what's going on? Detect. Interesting, we have a weird bug going on now. Let's run this again. If line contains this. Aha! So I did this to myself. So this is going through each line. I did this to myself doing this. So instead of doing this, instead of saying this as the else statement, you know what we should do? We should do this. Delete this. Delete this. Then alright. Now we can just say if text box iDevice info text dot text equals then, and then we're gonna make this the reset. That's what I'm gonna call it. This is how I think of it. So when I run this, and I'm gonna disconnect the phone. Oh shit. Comment that out. If I run this, cool. Now I disconnect it and I run this. Let me do Control A. Okay, it's not highlighting anything. So it's literally just a new line. Is there? Yep, it's literally just a new line. So I'm gonna say if device info text equals blank plus. This is something that might be hard to understand, but if device info text is blank, and it's just a new line, then just please reset the labels. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. So let's do that. Let's just see what happens. This should fix it. Don't do that else statement though. Okay, it's blank. Connect it. There you go. Boom. There we go. So that's how we're gonna do that reset. Enter. Boom. And guess what, guys? You already know the rest. You can do the rest for the product type and the iOS version. So let's just do that and I'll show you how I would do it. So this is going to be the very end. This is the reset if text, if the device is disconnected and nothing displaying. Info file. There we go. So this is basically like our little reset. Reset vars, reset variables. Continuing on, if the line contains product version, where is it? This is what I want. So let's actually copy this style. So this one starts like this. So let's delete it exactly the same way. I'm gonna not call it IMEI index. I mean I could because it's in its own little if statement. So it's separated. These two are separated basically. But I'm just gonna call it something else. I'm gonna just say iOS ver index. iOS ver index. Copy that. Paste it here. iOS ver is our new var. Paste that here. Just watch how I'm doing this. iOS. What is this thing called? Label 6. I'm gonna call this label 6. The name, I'm gonna change it to iOS ver. Oh no. What am I doing? This is product type. Product type ver. And this is iOS ver. So let's go back here now and let's say I'm gonna copy this. I skipped product type, so let's do it in order. Let's leave that for a second. Let's go to product type. Alright, this one. Okay, paste it. So product type and then product version. So product type. Product type. You can literally make this whatever you guys want, but just this I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it. So you can follow along or do it yourself, however you want. You should already start getting the hang of it slowly. I'm gonna delete these comments so it's not bothering. Alright, so here we go. IMEI. Why did I call that product type ver? Product type text probably would have been better, not ver. Not even thinking anymore. Product Jeez. Text equals product type. Put that here. So this is our product type code. That's how I would do that. And then moving on to this one. This one I called iOS vertext. Vertext. That's funny. Put that there. Boom. And make sure, now that we added also a product type and we also added iOS vert, we also want this to be part of the reset in case the phone is not connected anymore. So it should just reset it. So put this over here as well. Don't forget these guys. Make sure they also reset, otherwise you're gonna have some weird shit going on in your program. Okay, run it. And it should be good now. Alright, disconnect. Alright, and now you can stop your program from running, and I'm gonna continue on. Let's go here. Grab this. I would just minimize this like this. And have this like here. And then I would do this. Go to visible, make this false. Take this, put this down next to this. Take this. You can have this right here, this is fine. Select this variable, not this variable, select this element, this, move it over. Go to toolbox, go to picture box, drag it and drop it, make it bigger. Alright, next up, go back to your program and you will have a exe file called in here curl. So let's go and click in this search box, type in cmd, open the command prompt basically in the directory that we're in so we can execute the file, and type in curl and hit enter. Alright, so now we're getting into curl and I'm going to show you how you can download files using curl and Visual Studio. So this is going to allow you to download image files from ipsw.me and basically display whatever device you have connected, and it's super easy. Let me just show you. Alright, so let's go here and open up this and just say I want to write a program in Visual Basic to use curl, which is our exe, to download a file from, and now let's go here, go to ipsw.me, and this is how you do it. Select what device, let's say it's an iPhone, click on iPhone, it's an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and then let's see, click device information, and we have an image of an iPhone here, iPhone 15. So look at the URL here. It's ipsw.me, and then it has the product type, which is something that we can actually grab from here. You see this? Product type. So if I grab this one and actually put this in here and hit enter, watch this image. iPhone 5S. Alright, so that's the phone I had connected. So let's say we want to grab this image from this website using curl. So curl is basically going to grab whatever link you give it and it's going to download it. So I'm assuming this is a direct link. Take this image, right click, inspect. Inspect will allow you to see elements and code inside of a web browser. So if I right click on it again and do inspect, it's going to focus in on it, and it's focusing on this element, and when I hover over it here, it's highlighting it in blue here. So that goes here, here's the link, I highlight that, and it shows me the actual direct link to the actual image of the device, whatever I would have had connected. That is so handy and so nice that they didn't make it confusing or it's using some sort of hash as the link to the image. That way you can now basically use this as an API in your own program to display images of whatever device you have connected. Super powerful, super handy, super helpful, super cool. So I'll show you how to do this now. So I'm gonna highlight this and try to copy it. Where does it go? Click on it now, and there you go. This is where it goes. Copy, go to ChatGPT, paste, and that's it. So I want to write a program in Visual Basic to use curl to download a file from here, and then display it in picture box one dot image or whatever. You could literally, it's gonna be so, like, guys, when you learn this stuff, you're gonna be like, dude, I learned so much shit from Mr. Creator, like so many things that I thought were so complicated, but they're actually so much easier. And you know why? You know why that is? It's literally how you think of things. It's programming is not how smart you are in math, how smart you are in making graphs or shit like that. Programming is not that at all. Programming is how creative a person can be. It's how creative you can be and using the tools and resources that you have to create the things that you want. That's what programming is to me, and that's what I think programming is going to be for you as well. Everyone that's new and learning this stuff, you guys are going to be like, holy shit, this stuff is so much easier than I thought. It's literally all about just knowing all the resources. Just know a couple of resources, things you can use, and just build from that. It's super fun stuff and super satisfying at the same time. Okay, so when it detects it, it reads this information and it displays it. So let's go after the next end if statement and paste that here. Alright, and now so we have a problem. I don't want it to download the image to this directory because this is not a directory that exists, and basically I just want to tell the program just download it to whatever current directory the program is running from. That way we can just avoid any issues trying to read it from a specific directory that a program might have to be specifically installed to. Alright, so let's go to here where we had combined current directory. Perfect. I'm gonna copy this, go over here, paste that here. So current directory. Delete this. I'm gonna call this new path. Delete this, paste it, plus it. And I'm not gonna call that iPhone, I'm gonna call this actually I can't call it what I want to call it. I have to actually call it whatever this is. That's how I have to call it. Now we're gonna learn some. There's gonna be a bug here, I'm sure, but I'm gonna show you how to fix it real quick. You may not even see it yet because you wouldn't notice. Okay, paste. So what am I doing here? Basically, I'm saying, oh yeah, okay, I fucked up. Alright, so delete this because it can't be there. So why am I deleting that? Because we have to download whatever image we have for whatever device is actually connected. So this image URL is based on whatever device is actually connected. So every time this variable changes, the image will change. Then we're saying get this current directory, and this is going to be the new path of the downloaded image. So I'm going to call this iDevice image. Literally just going to call it that. And that should be it, honestly. Alright, let's see if this works. It might fail. I don't know. Detect. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, it's gonna go through every line. Hold on. Give it a sec. Hold on, let's see what's gonna. There he goes. There he goes. Alright, so why did that happen? Okay, so this is a learning experience. So let's stop the program and let's see why the fuck did that happen. This happened because it's basically doing it for each line. Remember, this is a for loop, and then inside the for loop we have an if statement. So what we can do is let's grab this code we just pasted, and to stop that weird shit from happening is move it and put that only inside of product type. So once product type is read and detected, only when one line contains it, then we want to download the image, and then it should be good. So I'm gonna actually connect, because that was an iPhone 5C. I'm gonna connect the iPhone 5S, so it should show the actual image, because I don't think they have an image on the website for the other phone. See? And now if I connect my iPad, oh no. Oh no. Let's stop it from running, run it again. There it goes. Now it shows the iPad. Let me disconnect it. Connect the iPhone. Okay, so there we go. We have a problem. And I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. So as you can see, I'm switching the device and it's actually changing here, but our actual image for the device when we're changing it is not changing. How do we fix that? How about every time the file exists, then if the iDevice info file exists, then make sure to delete the image first, just in case a caching issue or Visual Basic bug. So let's do that. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so make sure caching or visual bug issue. Alright, so let's do that. And this actually can be moved over. Take this out of here. And move this to the top. Like, here. Because anything that's outside is the parent. So anything that's inside and in, like, that goes deeper inside. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's just move let's just move on, bro. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Alright. Sorry. My lord. I really hope no one clips that. I forgot what the hell I was doing. Let me just run this shit again. Alright, yeah, we were deleting the image, right. Alright, where is it? Alright, so yeah, we defined it up here, and we want to delete the image first, because that shit might be annoying. Alright, so also grab this and move this over as well. I know it's going to be like, oh, we're missing this variable. Don't worry, we're going to put it up higher. It's going to be right here. It's going to be the parent. Alright, so delete this image first. Copy this, go here. Please delete the iDevice image PNG first. So we just want to delete it before the rest of the code continues, just to make sure that curl will overwrite the file, or not even overwrite it, because it's going to delete the file and then it's going to write the file again. So it's just going to make sure. Alright, that's all we need. If the file exists, then delete it. And if it can't delete it, it's gonna just tell me there was an error. Alright, should work perfect now. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Boom, works, good. Disconnect. Try the iPad. Watch, it's gonna connect and this obviously was working, but now it's gonna actually switch the image. Oh. So it didn't switch the image. Failed to delete. Aha! Do you know why this is happening? So this is another learning process. Why doesn't this work? Well, we can't delete the image because our own program is still displaying that image. That's why it's failing. Super easy fix. Go here, open up, I don't know. Let's go here. See if there's any like blank image. No, okay. Item connect iPhone. Connect iPhone. I don't know. Let's just use this for example. Connect device. Save it. Go here. Right click. Now do size mode. Do zoom. Always do zoom. Choose image. Make sure you're in project resource file, so you can select this and go to import. So it's going to now import this into your project as a resource file, so you can actually call it in your program later. Open. So now it's part of your resources. Always do it this way. Don't do, you can, but I like this way. Alright, there we go. So it's basically showing to connect the device. Alright, and let's see. If you go to choose image, the name of the file is called connect device. So if we want to actually change this picture box to connect device, we just call it by that resource. Alright. So let's say, where does it set the image? There it is. This is where it sets the image. So before we delete it, every time we click the text, I'm gonna tell the program reset the image. Reset image first. So we technically don't need to delete it. We just always needed to reset the image. That's why it was failing. We were already reading from that file, and that's why I couldn't download and show the right image for the iPad when I switched between the iPhone 5S and stuff. Alright. My.resources.connect device. So now every time you click the button, it will always first reset the image to connect device. And now if I go here, I don't even need to delete it. Alright, let's run it again. There you go. Disconnect, connect the iPad. It's still showing that as the image. Disconnect. Stop it. Let's add this code back to delete the file and see if it will actually fail. I think it will fail to delete it. But why? Fail to delete old image. This process cannot access the file. It is being used by another process. Alright, so let's copy all of this code for our function. Go here, and say, where is it? I keep getting an error. Failed to delete file because Let's just write the error in. So let's see what it's gonna say, how to fix this. Okay, check if file downloaded. So the difference here is image from file, and then here it says using image picture box new bitmap. So I guess it's separating the file that it reads. Okay. Okay, now let's try the iPad. Lovely, look at that. But the thing is, why I don't want this stupid black window to keep popping up every time I run it. It just looks stupid. So let's get rid of that. Just looks ugly. This is what we want. Copy this, put that here. Like that. Alright. Should be nice. And let's make sure that this is actually in the mode size mode equals zoom. So that should fix that weird shit from happening. Yeah, there you go. And there you go, guys. Easy as that. Now you're reading device information and you're displaying which device you have connected. And when you have nothing connected, guess what? It tells you to connect. Connect it. Alright, and a little bit more customization that I'm going to throw in before I end this video, because we have been recording for approximately 1 hour already. So I got to wrap this up soon, because I don't want to bore you guys for too long in this chapter, but it is very important to go over this stuff because you need to know this for your own tools. So now we're going to copy and paste the picture box, put it over here, and I'm going to show you some image. So let's just say Apple hacked logo, PNG, whatever, anything. And you can pick any of these, whatever you wanted. Let's say, for example, is it a PNG? Nope. It's not a PNG. Alright, let's just say we want this one. So I'm going to copy this. Open pixlr.com. Go to create new. Just say, I don't know, 1000 by 1000. Paste your image. Resize your image. Enter, enter. Select the outside. Use this tool to select. Tolerance up. Select the outside. Delete. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Delete. Click on the outside. Hit backspace to delete the outside. Click on the outside to deselect. Control S to save. Logo. No, let's save it as Apple controller logo. Now you can just go here. Not that. select your image, import. Let's go here. Where is it? Documents, pictures, Apple controller logo, paste it. Then change the size to zoom. Now change your background to dark blue, I don't know. Select your text. Don't select your form, but select your text and this label. Change your for color to white. After that, you're done. And one more thing I'm gonna throw in, one more thing before I let you go. And go here, click on your button, and you can actually change your flat style. This stuff, I would say, is kind of cool to mess with. You can make it flat, and when you make it flat, change your for color to, for example, you can make it, I don't know, green. And so now when you click on it, look what happens when you hover it. When you hover it looks like this. Click it, boom. And there you guys go. This was the end of chapter 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. I kind of went a little longer than I expected, but I did want to make sure I cover almost every part and just show you my perspective on how I would code it, how I would do it, and how it would work. If you go over here and you'll see, where is it? You should see a file that's downloaded every time you run it. It's called iDevice. What do we call it here? Let me see. iDevice image.png. So it should be called iDevice image. There it is. So this is where your file is always saved, and it's downloaded from ipsw.me. That's what I wanted to show you. So that's the end of today's lesson. I'm just going to go through the code really quick if you want to take a look at that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I wanted to make sure I cover a lot of this, so I don't know, you have a better idea of how I do it. But yeah, that's that. It's not too complicated. It's just all about being creative and thinking of ways to make something work. If you have the resources and you have the creativity, you will be able to make almost anything you think of. Later on, you know, exploits and stuff like that and learning how to do glitches, stuff like that are very, very handy, but that's a lot more complex and reverse engineering goes into it. That's the end of today's lesson, guys. Thank you so much once again for watching. I hope it was worth your time and you did learn something from it. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out.